Drop of Blood, the Dirigenten, a Ramona INVENER thriller. Drop of Blood. Part 1. The Ghost Ship. 1. The Call on the Red Sea. The North Sea was typically gray, but tonight, under the smear of the setting sun and the strange, metallic haze, it looked the color of cheap port wine. Commander Alara Iversen, of the Norwegian Coast Guard's elite Havern unit, gripped the railing of the patrol vessel Nornen, the salt spray stinging her eyes. Status report, Lieutenant, she barked into the wind. Still no response, Commander. She's dead in the water. Ice is broadcasting, but the bridge is silent. Looks like the Odin's Eye, a bulk carrier out of Valletta. Lieutenant Kjell's voice was tight over the comms. They were investigating a distress beacon that had suddenly gone dark, a standard operation turned strange by the absolute radio silence from the ship. When Nornen finally pulled alongside the massive, inert hull, the first thing they noticed was the smell. Not oil or rust, but something coppery and sickeningly sweet. The target mark. Alara led the 4-person boarding team. The ship was pristine, the cargo untouched, but the decks were unnervingly empty. The crew's personal effects were neatly stowed, half-eaten meals sat on galley tables, and the bridge navigation equipment was still running. It was as if everyone had simply vanished mid-step. In the captain's cabin, they found a single, terrifying anomaly. On the polished wooden wall, smeared in what Alara immediately knew was human blood, was a perfect, terrifying symbol, a crosshair enclosed in a circle. The same mark, she realized with a chill, was faintly visible under the blood on the book cover she'd glimpsed on the captain's desk, a military history text, oddly enough. The crew didn't leave, Kjell, Alara whispered into her mic, the metallic scent overwhelming her. They were taken, and whoever did this left a calling card. Part 2. The Whisper of the Conductor. 3. Ramona INVENER. Ramona INVENER was an anomaly. A linguist and cryptographer who had spent the last 5 years of her life in self-imposed exile, working as a highly paid, utterly discreet consultant for private security firms and intelligence agencies. She lived in a secluded fjord cabin, her only company the relentless wind and the stacks of encrypted drives. The knock came at 3 o'clock, a jarring intrusion. Alara Iversen stood on her porch, uniform soaked, holding a thick, watermarked photograph. The crew of the Odin's Eye disappeared. All 32 of them. We found this symbol, Alara said, handing over the picture of the blood mark. And a name written on the mirror in the captain's bathroom, written in what forensic analysis now confirms is saline water mixed with plasma. The name was an obscure, archaic term from Old Norse and German military lexicon. Dirigenten, Ramona read aloud, her voice flat. The conductor. 4. The methodology. Ramona had spent her academic life obsessively studying a forgotten Cold War psychological warfare unit known only as the Symphony. Their goal was never assassination, but systematic, untraceable removal of key personnel to induce maximum societal panic, a perfect vacuum effect. The Dirigenten isn't an executioner, Commander, Ramona explained, connecting her laptop to Alara's encrypted drive. He's a puppet master. He doesn't kill people. He makes them cease to exist in a way that generates fear, not retaliation. She pointed to the symbol. The crosshair isn't for aiming a bullet. It's the 4 compass points, north, south, east, west. It means total operational control. He isn't choosing targets at random. The Odin's Eye was carrying sophisticated sonar equipment. The captain, Captain Bjornsson, was rumored to be close to the Russian FSB. He's taking high-value assets, Alara finished, a grim knot forming in her stomach. The Dirigenten was starting a global symphony of fear, and the North Sea was just the overture. Part 3. The Crimson Wave. 5. The Second Note. 2 weeks later, the news hit the world. A research facility in the Arctic Circle, studying seabed mineral deposits, had been rendered completely inoperable. The 12 scientists and security staff were gone. The only sign left behind, the circular crosshair mark, this time etched into the ice with a high-powered laser. Ramona was now embedded with the Havern unit, staring at the satellite images. "He's operating on a schedule," she muttered, pacing the war room. The Odin's Eye crew were military intelligence targets. The Arctic researchers were strategic resource targets. "He's building a portfolio of leverage." She noticed a pattern in the Dirigenten's known activities. All targets shared one thing. They had, in the preceding 6 months, accessed a specific, long-defunct dark web forum known as the Red Beacon. 6. The conductor's identity. Ramona and Alara cracked the old forum's encryption. It was an ancient chatroom for ex-intelligence operatives discussing theoretical, untraceable exfiltration, the ultimate ghost operation. One user, known only as the Maestro, dominated the threads, his posts detailing a chillingly elegant methodology for making people disappear. Ramona clicked on a profile picture. A blurred photo of a man standing on a dock, facing the sea. The lighting was poor, but the distinctive, almost arrogant set of his shoulders was familiar. "I know him," Ramona whispered, her face pale. "Dr. Marius Kreuger. A brilliant, disgraced military strategist. He was my mentor in university. He wrote his doctoral thesis on psychological warfare through human erasure. He was always obsessed with achieving the perfect target, the removal that causes a societal ripple without ever revealing the stone." The photograph wasn't a dock. It was the stern of the Odin's Eye. "He is the Dirigenten," Alara said, her hand reaching for her sidearm. 7. The final movement. Ramona stared at the cover photo of the book. The blood-red ocean, the ominous target, the name Ramona INVENER printed boldly. "No," Ramona said, shaking her head. "The name isn't on the cover for decoration. He hasn't been targeting military secrets or resources, Alara. Not primarily." She turned the image to show Alara the subtle, faint outline of a compass rose hidden beneath the blood splatter, emanating from the center of the crosshair. "The crosshair has only been fully formed on the outside," Ramona explained. "But he left this book cover in the captain's cabin, showing my name and the full, complex symbol, the one that means total ideological control." She looked up, a terrible realization dawning in her eyes. He didn't just target the crew and the researchers. He left those as clues. He targeted me. He wanted me to follow his breadcrumbs, to solve his puzzle, so I would lead him to the one thing he couldn't get himself. "What is that?" Alara demanded. Ramona pulled up her old research. "The master key. The counter-program I developed to shut down the Symphony protocol. It's what he needs to control his assets globally. The blood on the cover, Alara, that's not his target's blood. It's a promise of mine. He has made me the final Dirigenten, the conductor of his final, perfect disappearance." She packed her bag, putting the laptop and the master key drive inside. "He's not on the sea, Commander. He's waiting for me to show him where the counter-program is hidden. I have to go to him, before he plays his next, and final, note. Wave the ending wave." The end of this part of the story would typically be followed by a high-stakes final confrontation, likely on a vessel or remote location, where Ramona must use her intellect and knowledge to turn Kreuger's own methodology against him, deciding whether to be his final target or the one who makes him disappear from the world.